We talk about protectionism. We heard just 2 days ago President Trump, who arrived this morning talking about tariffs on solar panel and washing machines. Do you worry that 2018 is the resurgence of protectionism?
Well, I mean, the jury's still out. But the fact that he comes to Davos, which is the centerpiece of global trade and global economy, maybe could be a good sign that he'll reconsider that, global trade is maybe the better way to go. So time will tell.
What does it mean for your supply chain? So you operate globally. Do you need to look at it? Do you move things around, or does it take a big lead time?
Well, I think it depends on our customers. I mean, at the end of the day, the White House is not buying our products. It's our customers in the United States. So if you go by the checkbook, I mean, basically, we have 24 billion revenues in the United States, 60,000 people working for our customers every day. We are a net exporter from the United States. So if you go by the textbook, we should be fine. What I'm a bit more mindful about is how our customers are actually being affected by potential limitations of free trade. So we need to go see who is affected, how we can help them, and what that means for the global supply chain and trading goods and services all over the borders.
Where do you see the most strength? When you look at the global economy, where do your customers do better? The U.S. seems to be benefiting possibly from a U.S. tax overhaul.
Yeah, well, the U.S. tax reform so far is nothing but looking at the deferred tax assets and the deferred tax liabilities. And this is where the charges come or the one-time profits. So that's something on the balance sheet. We move on, and then we see what that actually does to, let's say, investment in the United States. The triggering event, the intent of the tax reform was actually, to do business in the United States in a better, a more efficient way. And that we'll see how that goes. Where do people invest? I mean, wherever there's growth. And today, there's growth everywhere. But there is growth in China with 7% GDP. There is India, which seems to get it this time in infrastructural development and reforms. The Middle East is still, always an opportunity, sometimes a bit, how do I say that, worrisome because of geopolitical tensions arising from those areas. So I think the world is in good shape. And when you talk to people here in Davos, I hardly have seen such an optimism everywhere about anything than this time.
But is that a worry?
I would not be worried, but I would be mindful about the fact that, the brightest hour is before dusk.
Talk to me about some of the big trends that you're thinking of. We're thinking a lot at Bloomberg about the future of transport. Now, you've said in the past that the move to electric vehicles, for example, could erase 30% of the value chain in cars. What does that mean for the way you will sell your products and the way people will buy them?
I think it's not so much about only the car industry. What it is about is that when the internet reaches the industrial world, there will be fundamental productivity. The value chains will become more effective. More effective value chain means lesser resources, which is good. So there will be a lot of jobs being lost. But by making the value chain more efficient, you can actually create more demand. So there will be more jobs actually being created. So the task of leadership, political leadership, entrepreneurial leadership today is that we give those people who are being affected an opportunity to get retrained to the new way of doing business. The opportunities are definitely in e-commerce. Mm-hmm. So you bring goods and services easier to our customers. They can buy more, they can buy easier, so you actually create demand. Secondly, if you look at healthcare, there's only about 1/2 of the global population who receives healthcare today. So if you make healthcare more efficient by artificial intelligence, by software analytics, you can actually bring a cheaper healthcare to the next 1 billion of people who have the same diseases, the same need for healthcare than they used to, but now they can afford it. So you create growth. So I believe it's very important, if you look at the value chain, how much net GDP do we create with the fourth industrial revolution? If you only, let's say, create 300,000 jobs by taking away 500,000, making the value chain more efficient, well, that company is great, but the ones who lost opportunities, they are not being that great, and the society doesn't benefit. So I think we have all the reason to be optimistic, but we should not be blindsided that growth will be unlimited. We should not be blindsided about the fact that the Internet of Things, digitalization, which is binary, right? 1, 0, in, out, winning, losing, that this creates a lot of tension in the societal divide. And that's really something we need to be very mindful about, because the last thing we want is that, unlike the first 3 industrial revolutions, the 4th one becomes a real revolution. We want to have efficient cars on the streets. We want to have driverless cars on the street, but not burning cars on the street. And that's something we need to be very mindful about.
Can I ask you about your industrial core? So there's been questions about things that you've said in the past, including that large gas turbines don't have direct synergies, about a digital factory unit could benefit from being more independent. What exactly is your industrial core? What are you focusing on?
The industrial core is the value chain from creating electricity and then bring it to buildings or manufacturing, and make manufacturing and engineering more efficient. That's the industrial core. So when I talk about large turbines, this is not a good business, but it is going to be different in the future, because with the rise of renewable energy, you need less big machines as a backup. You need more flexible machines to back up volatility in renewable energies. And that's what we are focusing on, and I believe there's a lot of growth. But, our customers, they don't wait for the ones who don't get it. There are examples for that.
Talk to me a little bit about Flender. You bought Flender back in 2005, right? Flender. I don't know if my pronunciation needs to. Flender. And now you're reportedly selling it for a little bit less, or less than you bought it. Did the unit not meet your expectations? Were you disappointed by it?
You know what, Francine, I read that in the news this morning that Siemens considers to sell Flender. So I need to go check what the things are all about. But look, this is about mechanical drives. And this is one of the areas where this business was really good at, was providing drives for the wind energy. Now, through innovation, Siemens actually has been one of the first ones that we replace the gearboxes and have gearless drives, which saves a lot of money, makes renewable energy cheaper, and is good for customers. So that's something we need to go look into, because it's structural change. But no one in the company said we would sell Flender.